But you just can't. You still recording? She wanna feel on my soul, I wanna feel on her more. She wonder why it's so cold, I said we break it down to the flow, intertwining for sure. Do you want me some more, I said she wanna feel on my soul, I wanna feel on her more. She wonder why it's so cold, I said we break it down to the flow, intertwining for sure. Do you want me some more, I said I can feel it in your soul, in your body, in your mind. You've been lost up in your world, can't you tell you wasting time? I'm just trying to be yours while you trying to be mine. Let me hold up on your hand while we stand on different sides. Cause we gotta stay connected through the pain and defeat. You've been going through some trouble, let me rub up on your feet. I'm addicted to your skin and your taste is so sweet. Mesmerized by your body, but your soul got me beat. I've been thinking about your beauty, you got passion to the bone. I'm in love with your voice, you seduce me with your tone. I'm in love with your smile and your laugh had me gone. When you look into the mirror, I'm just trying to put you on. Yeah, beauty and perfection, all I see is in your frame. I be feeling blessed just to go and speak upon your name. You been stuck up in my mind, something fame can't change. Can't leave you in the distance, so let me just keep you safe. Yeah, she wanna feel on my soul, I wanna feel on her more. She wonder why it's so cold, I said we break it down to the flow, intertwining for sure. Do you want me some more, I said she wanna feel on my soul, I wanna feel on her more. She wonder why it's so cold, I said we break it down to the flow, intertwining for sure. Do you want me some more, I said I be feeling like I got a lot to say, but it's weird, like I can't take what's in my mind, like the pictures that I see. I can't really, it's hard to put into words. It's hard for me to really like say what I see or what I think. It's weird. It's weird. Like I just be saying anything, but it don't be anything. Like it's like a complicated puzzle that just be all gathered up in one space, but it's hard because you would think that it'd be easy to describe what's right in front of you, but you just can't. You still recording?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eye of the Storm, a mental health awareness month event. We are so glad you came to join us today, and we hope that you participate with leaving comments in wherever you're watching this video. Just leave them in the comment box. We can interact with you, and you can tell the artists how much you love them and what they're saying and all of that. So we are happy that you are here. Just a little bit of information. This event was put together by Chanel Lane LLC, which represents me, and also Melanated in America, who founder and owner will be joining us very shortly. But I wanted to give you a little bit of information on how this event came about. This event was created because myself and other people like me are suffering with mental health issues. We're surviving mental health every day. And for people who do not have mental health illnesses, there are a time where you or someone you know has been anxious, where you all have been depressed. People are affected by the seasons. People are excited and scared and too joyful and too sad and all of the emotions. You know what I'm saying? So all of that connects to mental health. So I and Miss Natalie Battles wanted to bring together artists who can speak to that, but also mental health professionals who can give you information that you can take to help with either you or your loved one as you all survive your mental health. So, with no further ado, let me introduce my co creator. Now, I'm just going to start off by saying that these introductions must be brief, or else it will take us 3,561 years to read this woman's bio. Natalie Battles is in everything. She is a true Renaissance woman, everything from an actor to a historian to a teacher to a owner, a host, and everything. So I am so happy to bring her on and to work with her. And she will be our MC for the evening. I introduce to some and present to others Miss Natalie Battles.
Hi, I'm super excited to be here and to host this event and to bring this event to everyone with you. It was definitely a moment where it was just like, you want to do an event? Let's do an event. Let's do this. Let's get this out for the people. And so I'm excited that we can do that and highlight some amazing artists who definitely have something to say on the mental health journey on their own and then just mental health in general. So I'm excited.
I am so excited. I am glad that we were able to join together to make this happen because I think that there needs to be a human lens placed on mental health, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the black community, especially in the black community. And sometimes we catastrophize it to be this one type of individual, this one type of mental health, this one type of person who we deem or seem as crazy, you
And can
know.
we also just say not black? Like all of those images, we don't put with people of color. It's not a white thing. It's not anybody's thing. It's a humanity thing. It's a human thing to be sad sometimes, to be frustrated, to not know how you feel, especially because we aren't taught the skills that we need as far as social emotional learning is concerned to really be able to handle our emotions. A lot of the times we're just taught to press them down, so of course we're going to have mental health issues because we're not taught how to deal with so many powerful emotions that we have. So as melanated people in America, it's definitely something we need to talk about.
Definitely, definitely. I am so happy to be doing this and to bring this forth to people so they can see and get a glimpse of being in the eye of the storm. So, what the eye of the storm means very quickly is the eye of the storm is when you're going through something and there are waves and turns and snow and all of these things. And then you get into this sweet spot, right? And you're in the eye of the storm, which is what they say when you've been through a lot as far as the storm goes, and it's calm right now, or it seems to lessen, but you know the rest of it is coming. Um,
Mm.
so a lot of people are in the midst of the storm, which is the same thing, and that's why we titled this event "Eye of the Storm." So yeah, so I am going to hand the event off to our beautiful, beautiful mistress of ceremonies, Miss
And you
Natalie
got,
Battles.
see Chanel again. Don't worry. She will
Yes.
be so information in the flyer. She is our feature for this evening, so she will be coming back to us with some amazing words of poetry, but some words of her own as far as her experience as well. So thank you, Chanel.
Oh, wait, we almost forgot.
What's that?
We have a very special surprise for everyone.
That's where I was going when you handed it over to me, but go ahead.
I'm sorry, we got to do this together because I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. I'm just so just so on the excited tip over here. We have a special surprise for everyone. We will have I'll have Natalie introduce this amazing artist that we have for you today doing this wonderful surprise. Go ahead. I'm going to shut up so you can introduce her. Go right ahead. I'm so excited.
For sure. So everyone, today we are definitely pairing art and mental health together. So I like to say it's an art and mental health event because I think they go hand in hand. And so we have someone coming on to speak to you all, not just on the musical, the poetic and performing art side, but on the visual art side as well. So we have the amazing award-winning artist and educator, Dion Victoria, coming up for you all. She will be live painting with us today during this entire event. Hello, Dion. We also have the beautiful Miss Katie, who has a birthday coming up.
This is my co-star always. But yes, it's always whenever you're talking about me, I just always start laughing. Award-winning. I'm like, oh.
But it's so true. Don't forget about those awards, sis.
Yes, so I haven't started anything yet because I wanted y'all to see we're starting with it. All I did was paint this yellow. That's it. That's how it came today. And I would like to ask people, because at one point, about halfway through, we're going to take a break. If you don't have a place to take notes on your phone or a piece of paper, a journal, just get something to write with, some paper. We're going to do a little activity during one of the breaks. So make sure you have some paper or somewhere to take a note, whether it's on your phone, computer, on a piece of paper. But yeah, I'm excited to be here, and I'll be talking more about like how art impacts my mental health. But I do want to just say this one thing about children. My son, I'm looking at a stack of paintings, and maybe during the break I can show y'all, but my son loves to paint. Anybody who knows my son knows he is a very large ball of energy. He has an unlimited supply. But when it's time to paint, he's so still and so quiet and chill. Art just soothes whatever that is in him that makes him be like, ah, ah, ah. He starts painting, he gets quiet, his breathing changes. And so that's what I'm going to do here. Maybe you'll see my breathing change. I don't know. But thank y'all for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for blessing us with your artistic practice and showing everyone out there in virtual land this beautiful process. So we'll be bringing you up on screen and having you up on screen as we go along so that everybody can see your process and what's going on and what you've added to the piece. I love that you're starting with yellow because yellow is one of my favorite colors, and it's bright and it's beautiful. And we want people to know in the midst and the eye of their storm that we can get to that yellow. I don't know if you've ever heard the India Ari song Yellow, but that's the thing. We can get to that beautiful sweet yellow. All right, so we'll bring you back up and have your artistic practice being shown throughout. And then, like she said, she'll be coming on one of the breaks to go in depth because I also mentioned she's an amazing artist, but also educator. And she'll be telling us about a project that she is working on called the Art Box that'll be dropping really, really soon. And that's why you are going to need that paper. So don't forget that. Be ready with your notes on your phone, computer, or a piece of paper for when Dion comes back with us. All right. Let's hop into it.
All right, I'm gone. I'm giving it over to you.
You're leaving it in good hands.
Well, thank you. I trust you, sis. I trust you.
We gonna do it. It's gonna be amazing. All right, guys. So we are going to hop right into it. We have a lot to talk about and a lot to do today, starting with some amazing performers. And as Chanel mentioned earlier, amazing mental health professionals to speak on the topic as well. So let's get right off in it. Let's go into our first speaker and performer for the day. We will be interviewing these amazing artists as they come from their performance. So you get to hear them and you get to really hear them and get to know their story. So the first performer that will be blessing the stage today is Miss Shanaze Mobile, which is an amazing artist all the way around. Sis is multi-talented. Sis is a businesswoman. Sis is a dancer. Sis is an artist. And she is definitely a mental health advocate. So Shanaze Mobile, everyone.
Can I ask you a question? Are you okay? Now, I know most people would just answer, yeah, I'm okay. But are you really? Are you okay? When you think about this question, it's a very introspective one. It forces you to search your inner being, search your emotions, and answer, am I okay? Are you okay? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you hangry? Are you upset? All of those are emotions that we shy away from when we get into the whole, are you okay question. But I'm here to break up societal norms, and I'm here to disrupt the program that we all been doing so far. What I want to normalize is being vulnerable. What I'm here to normalize is being real about how we feel. So next time someone asks you the question, are you okay? Take a second. Think about that. Scan your emotions and answer honestly. Yes, I'm okay today. I could be better. No, I'm not okay at all. And it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. But what is really important is that you are real about how you feel. Because your true emotions, your truth about your feelings is what's important and what's really real. Ashe.
Come on here, sis. That was a moment with Miss Shanaze Mobile. Thank you, sis. I'm so excited to get into this interview because I know you.
Yeah.
And I love you. I adore you. You are one of my sisters. And so to get into your story, to get into the work that you are doing for the community,
Woo.
let's tap into it. So my first question for you is your artistry. So you have a few different artistic practices. Can you tell us about your artistry and then how you started them?
Sure. So first and foremost, shout out to Khalida Kali. I'm a part of Khalida's North African Dance Experience, where she is a comedic belly dancer. She is really versed in the comedic belly dance. So I've been dancing with her for about 4 years now. So that's where the dance comes from. But I've really been dancing all my life. You know, I love to move. I love to do different things. And it was just so great, you know, that I found a practice that really, you know, it accentuated all of my femininity, you know, and I love that. So it was, man, I really love the dance company and everything. Again, shout out to Kalida's North African Dance Experience. Also, I do have a health and wellness company called Weaving the Thread Healing Experience, where we do different workshops and we cater to the families of people with traumatic brain injury and also post-traumatic stress disorder. And we focus on mental health as a whole. So what we do is we do that through storytelling. We do that through art. We're heavily focused in the arts because we really believe that art is healing. So yes, and also I'm a painter. It's very therapeutic to paint. So I love art all the way around.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the work that you're doing, sis.
Of
And can I
course.
ask, why are those different ways that you are expressing your art important to you? And then for your organization with people with PTSD and brain industries, injuries? I said industries. Why is that important to you?
Because art is such a beautiful way to express yourself. And everything is art to me. You know, the way you move is art. You know, the way you write is art. The words you say is art. So it's really a very wide range of things that you can do in the arts. And specifically with the health and wellness company, we focus in the arts because it's a really good way to express yourself and be free in that way, you know, and still, if you have anything on your chest, you know, you can get it out on the canvas. You know, you can get it out through knitting, you can get it out through poetry. And we really want to let people know that a lot of people think that they're not artists. You know, some people think that, but I'm here to say we are artists. You are art, period. You know, just you existing, you are art piece. You know, you are a masterpiece. So we just want to let people know that the arts are a healing tool that can be used in everyday life.
Absolutely. And why is mental health awareness important to you, specifically Black mental health awareness?
Because it's been too long that we've been suffering in silence, you know, and it's been generation after generation where it's a hush hush thing, you know, it's something that you don't really talk about, or you know, you don't want to seem crazy by talking about how you really feel or talking about therapy or anything like that. And it's time out, you know, it's played out to even think that way or even not even address what's really going on. Because, you know, a lot of people suffer from, I'm not even going to say suffer, a lot of people experience, you know, mental health issues or mental health challenges. And I'm just so grateful that we are in a space and time where it's being normalized to open and talk about it freely.
Speaking of talking about it freely and normalizing talking about it freely, would you care to share your own personal mental health journey with us?
Sure. Woo, where do I start? When I was a baby, no, but
I was going by the river.
but from, you know, my earliest recollection of mental health, you know, of mental health for me, even knowing that I feel some type of way and I need to understand this feeling within myself, I would say is in college. You know, I was graduating top of my class. You know, I was the president of business club, speaking clubs. You know, I made my own club called the President's Club. You know, where we could just share resources and all this other stuff. You know, everything was going great. No more homework. You know, everything was great, and I was depressed. Like, I was seriously depressed, and I was in a space where I just wanted it to rain. You know, I was like praying for, it was such a sunny day. I'll never forget it. It was a summer day, such a sunny day. And I was praying for it to rain. Like, I was mad that it was so like beautiful outside. And I was just like, what is that? Where is this coming from? You know? So with me going within myself and getting to understand myself more, it got me to understand that, you know, these feelings are coming from a multitude of places. You know, at the time I was in a toxic relationship. At the time I was, you know, in and out of religion. You know, I was trying to understand that whole thing. I mean, I have a son, all of that good stuff. You know, police brutality been happening. So, man, it was a lot going on mentally for me. And I had to find different ways to really calm myself down, you know, and understand that, look, what you feeling, it's okay. It's okay for you to feel how you feel, but it's not okay for you to wallow in it and stay there, you know? So with that understanding, I started slowly but surely really researching different things, researching different methods of, you know, getting over depression, getting over anxiety, things like that. And through that, I found meditation, you know, and I found things like yoga, and I found things like dance, and I found things like art, you know, and those mediums helped me so much to express myself more freely than it just keeping it all bottled up, you know. So when times get hard, you know, I know that there's different outlets that I can go to express how I'm truly feeling in that moment, so I can get that weight up off me, you know, and be free of that burden. And also I have a beautiful, you know, people around me that I can go to and talk to. You know, if I really needed someone to talk to, I can call people, you know, and I have this beautiful tribe of women, men, you know, mentors, all mother, father, you know. I can even talk to my son, because we have these conversations too. A lot of people think that children, you know, they're not going through nothing. You'll be very surprised, you know, what these babies are going to. So I just opened up the floor to be honest about how I feel. And yeah, that's where I am in my mental health journey now.
Absolutely. I love it. And you know, you mentioned a word, and you said to get over it. You didn't get over it, sis. You got through it.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's very important, because through all of those things and skills that you implemented in your life, the meditation, the yoga, the communicating, the artistic practices, your dance. I love you when you say your dance. Oh, I got the hand thing. I've been practicing.
Oh yes, I know. I see you, sis.
You know, all of those are ways that bring, one, they're things that bring you joy. They're things to help you express yourself. And every day we're getting through it. So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you.
And one more thing, sis, I'm so sorry. One more thing that helped me to get through it is therapy. When I started going to therapy, it helped me, you know, really recognize what was going on. And it also really helped me to verbalize what was going on. So I wasn't just, you know, in this bottled up space, and I didn't know how to communicate that with my partner, with my family, with people around me. Therapy was such a big help. So I encourage people, therapy, look, go ahead, do that thing, y'all.
It's for everybody. It's for humans. Okay. Even the animals need some therapy and counseling.
Yes.
Some of these pets need some counseling too, okay?
Look.
But it is not a bias to it. And that's one thing. So I'm really glad you brought that up. That's one thing we have to eradicate. And you kind of spoke on that in your piece, basically saying, like, we have to break these what would become norms of just dealing with it on your own and not speaking up and saying what's truly going on or identifying how you truly feel. And so if therapy can help you do that, even though you may not feel that your problems are the end of the world, or you may not feel like, you know, it's as big as someone else's problems, there's still your problems to handle. There's still your burdens to bear. So you need to talk about that. If you feel you need to talk to someone, and don't let anyone make you feel some kind of way for seeking help, to seeking being your best self, because that's what it all comes down to. We want to be our best selves.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. First of all, I love this necklace. Let me just say that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Made it?
No, I didn't make it. I actually got it from a Black-owned vendor. And yes, I love it. Like,
it's gorgeous. Come on.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And yes, for shout out to supporting Black-owned businesses. But my last question to you is for everyone who may be out there watching virtually right now, or anyone who catches this replay that is going through a tough time with their mental health journey. What would you say to them in the eye of their storm?
I would say, honestly, be real about how you feel. And just know that you don't have to struggle in silence. You don't have to. You know, so it's so much power in being vulnerable and being in that space where, you know, you can say, hey, today I'm not feeling smiley. Today I'm not feeling, you know, upbeat, up tempo. Today I'm feeling, you know, I'm in my feelings today. And it's okay. You know, so I just want everybody to know that it's okay to not feel okay. Really, really. So just, man, if you guys normalize being real about how you feel and set them boundaries. Healthy boundaries are so important, because it's one thing to go through something, you know, in silence, and it's another thing to keep going through it and you're not saying anything and you're not setting those boundaries, and, you know, people keep crossing them. No, be real about how you feel.
Be real about how you feel. Thank you so much. So if y'all take nothing else away from Shanae Mobo's conversation today, be real about how you feel and seek therapy if you need it. Seek counseling, seek therapy. That's okay. And find you an artistic practice and get on up in there.
Okay, do that.
Well, thank you so much, sis. You are appreciated. Thank you for being vulnerable.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your story. And we are definitely going to make sure that everyone knows where to find you. So go ahead and tell the people where they can find you, with your artistry, with your organization. Let them know.
Of course. First of all, I'm in these streets in Chicago. No, I'm just kidding, y'all. You can find me on social media platforms. I am Supernatural Zay on Instagram and also on Twitter. Here on Facebook, I am Shanae Zay Mobo. And also on TikTok, I'm Supernatural Zay too. So, and you can look up my health and wellness business, which is WTT Healing, or at WTT Healing on all streaming platforms.
Yes. And they do Freedom Fridays, y'all.
Freedom Friday, every Friday at 1 o'clock Central Time. So come check it out. That's where we keep it real and help you heal on Freedom Fridays. Okay?
Come on. We definitely appreciate you, sis.
For sure. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity.
No worries. All right, y'all. That was Shanae Zay Mobo. Go follow her, Supernatural Zay. Find her everywhere, and make sure y'all stay in tune with all of the amazing things that sister has done and is doing and will do. All right, we're going to go ahead and keep the event moving. And again, this is interactive. So if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, go ahead, drop them down in the comments, and we'll put them up on screen. So go ahead, keep interacting with us wherever you may be watching this stream. But next up, we have a mental health professional, a mental health advocate, an art lover, and a poet. Y'all, welcome, and give a virtual round of applause for Miss Sante Tate.
How y'all doing this afternoon? Hey, Matt.
Look at you looking lovely. Come on, curls. Come on.
Ooh, these girls is rough today. I guess they having to have the storm on their own today.
And that's all right. They're going to be real about how they feel.
Yes, but that is okay. It is great to be here and talk about something I'm super passionate about. For those of you that may already know just how passionate I am about mental health. So, I want to come to you all to talk about some very important things about centering and focusing on your mental health. First and foremost, what I need for all of us to remind ourselves every single day in the journey that there is of healthy mental health is that you are human. Sometimes we forget that, right? So we have all of these emotions and these feelings. And sometimes we're responsible for other people's emotions and feelings. That burden gets really heavy at times. And sometimes we forget that we are human too. And so what I need each and every one of you to do while you're in the eye of your storm is to give yourself the permission to be just that, a human being. And human beings feel things. So it is okay for you to be feeling all the things that you're feeling in this moment. Secondly, mental health is vital. It's just as vital as your heartbeat. It's just as important as your liver, as your kidneys. Mental health starts in the brain. And that is the hub of everything. If your brain isn't functioning properly, neither does the heart. If your brain isn't functioning properly, neither does the blood flow. If your brain isn't functioning properly, neither does your kidneys or your livers or any of your internal organs that are vital to your everyday breathe in and breathe out. So you need to take care of your brains and your mental health too, because it is the hub. It is the battery that keeps everything going. The body can live without the heart for some time, but the body can't live without the mind. First of all, you matter. That should have probably been number one, but we're going to cover it right here. It doesn't matter what you're going through in your life. It doesn't matter what anyone else is going through in their life. You are important too. You matter. And you need to make sure that you love yourself enough to put yourself in the center of your matter. You need to take care of who you are, because without taking care of you, you can't flow over into anyone else's cup. You can't be there for your children. You can't be there for your spouse. You can't be there for your mom, your dad, your best friend. You can't even be there for yourself. So showing up for you because you matter is key for mental health. You need to do that, y'all. Without that, there is no getting better. And remember this as well. No matter what you're going through in the eye of your storm, you are not alone. Sometimes we forget that one. Our troubles seem like nobody else gets it. I know personally, sometimes I've tried to reach out and talk to someone, and I'm telling them exactly how I feel. And it just doesn't seem like it's clicking. It doesn't seem like they get it. It doesn't seem like they're on that level of pain that I'm on. But I'm not alone, because maybe that person didn't get it. Maybe that person doesn't understand. But there is someone out there that does. And that is why it's super important that you remind yourself that you don't have to be alone. You don't have to be all by yourself, because someone there gets it. And you need to make sure that you build, which is number 6, your mental health circle. These are people that are informed about mental health. They know the importance of mental health. They value their own mental health, because in valuing their own mental health, they're able to understand and put value to yours as well. So you want to make sure that you have people around you in your circle that also values mental health and that can support you in your mental health journey. We want you to also be making sure number 7 is mental health checkups. I know sometimes I get a headache, that nose feeling stuffy. We in a pandemic, so if I cough, I'm concerned. I need to go ahead and get that checkup and make sure that I'm okay. Your brain, your mental health is no different. Do that mental health checkup. How you do those mental health checkups is by building that circle and then seeking professional support. In the Black community for years, we've struggled in silence because people have told us that therapy was for white people. It wasn't for us. We either needed to pray about it, suffer in silence, or just ignore it in totality. But none of that is right. I'm here to tell you what is the right thing to do. The right thing to do now is reach out for help. I'm proud of my brothers and sisters as I've noticed that so many more of us are breaking down that myth. We're doing differently for our children. We're reaching out for those services, and it doesn't need to stop there. We need to tell that person next to us that still may have that train of thought that it's not for us, that it absolutely is for us. Mental health is a necessity. It's not something that's just cultural. It's a necessity, a human necessity. You deserve it. I deserve it. Everyone here deserves it. Make sure that you get what is yours and you reach out for that help because you deserve it. I also want to remind you all that today is not forever. But mental health is a daily journey, y'all. It's something that you're going to be on every single day of your life. You may feel good today and not so good tomorrow, but that doesn't mean that you've taken 5 steps back. It means that you're just in the eye of your storm. And like any storm, this too shall pass. Keep reminding yourself of that. Keep telling yourself how it's important that this is not your forever. And keep reminding yourself that that journey is going to get tough some days. Some days you're not going to feel like talking it out. You're not going to feel like going there. But you need to go there. You have to crawl through the trenches of your trauma to get to where you want to be. You can't stop here. You've come too far. So you absolutely want to remind yourself that the journey is definitely going to be hard, but it will lead to a better you. At the end of that journey, it's a healthy you. It's a beautiful you. It's a smiling you. It's a triumphant you. You are not your circumstances. You are not your today's circumstances. You are much better than where you are. And you're going to get there. We're going to get there together. And so I need you to buckle down and say, I deserve to be that better me. And all the people around me that I love deserve to see that better me. And make that commitment to yourself. Because sometimes we can commit to others a whole lot better than we can commit to ourselves. But we deserve all the love that we shower onto others. We deserve to shower ourselves and bask in that personal love as well. So I need you guys to give yourself that permission to go out there and be your better you. And lastly, if you're like me, you're an empath, you're a healer. You love so hard. Part of me being a mental health advocate is like the air I breathe every day. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for you, and I'm doing it for my children. But sometimes as those empaths and healers, we tend to forget that we need healing too. So I want to remind all my fellow healers out there, all my fellow therapists, all my fellow mental health professionals, all my crisis intervention members, that you too deserve to heal. You need to give yourself some respite. You need to give yourself some time to recoup. You need to give yourself some time to rejuvenate your strength, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't pour into others and fill them up if you are empty. So I really, really need you all to remember how important it is as a healer, that you too deserve to be loved. You too deserve to rest, and you too matter. That's all I have for you all this evening. And I'll turn it over to Miss Nat. You don't buy the tambourine, sis?
Nothing good. So, I was over here, amen, and shouting the entire time you were speaking, and the energy in which you delivered that word. And I know everyone out there in virtual land felt it as well. Thank you. Thank you for saying what needed to be said. See, you getting some more thank yous. Thank you.
Yes, Miss Nat.
What needed to be said, especially the part about the healers, about those empaths, because the people that give and give and give, you gonna end up empty at some point if you don't replenish yourself. Like you said, you can't pour from an empty cup. I love it. I love it, and I appreciate you, sis, so much. And I know that you mean it with your whole heart when you say it, because you walk this path every day. It's not just on Sundays, you walk this path every day. And so can you talk to the people a little bit about the ways that you help people on their mental health paths, and on the healing journeys, especially from these generational traumas.
Indeed. Well, professionally in my day to day, I am a community educator advocate too for sexual assault at a nonprofit. And I've been doing this work for I'm about to tell my age. Those of you that know me, I tickle everyone with saying I'm 25 times. But yes, I've been doing this work for almost 10 years, and it's something that I'm extremely passionate about. And in being in that field, you happen to go into people's eye of the storm with them, right? When someone's being sexually assaulted, you're meeting them in that space. You're one of the first bridges that they have to healing. And I take that role very, very serious. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. And so doing this work has followed me for so many years. I've done it in different ways. I've also done some work for domestic violence people as well, or survivors as well. And so what we don't realize is that these things affect our community so much more than what we know. Our children are often survivors of sexual abuse, and our young girls and women, our aunts and uncles, yes, our uncles, because that is also a huge myth that men aren't sexually assaulted, but they absolutely are abused as well. And so I just want to drop a few facts really quickly for those of you that may not be aware that when it comes to sexual assault, more times than not, you're sitting in the room with a survivor. In fact, 1 in 5 Black women have been victims of some sort of sexual violence. And when we talk about sexual violence, we're not just talking about sexual assault. We're also talking about sexual coercion. We're talking about drug facilitated assault. We're talking about sexual harassment. We're coping with and we're healing from so much and dealing with so much trauma in silence, and it needs to stop. And so I began to recognize how important it was for us to really address these issues. And that's why I created a show called Oh We Gonna Talk. You know, Oh We Gonna Talk, we talk about it. We talk about all those things, those generational things, the generational pain and traumas that we've dealt with from our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, our great-great-grandmothers, and how we need to break the cycle for our young girls moving into the future. And so that is where my work is today, is in making sure that we absolutely keep putting that in the forefront, and we just don't give up, and we don't allow these generational traumas to continue. We don't pass them down another generation. And so that's how I'm trying to do the work and make a difference today. Oh, did we lose Nat?
There we go. All right. I was
just saying, I said, did we lose? Come on back. I'm like, that's me, because I done went on a whole rant and I done scared.
No, I was here for it, sis. I was here for it. Just waiting to drop back up. But thank you so much again for doing all you have done, and again are doing, and again will do. But can you please let the people know where they can find you, where they can have some more of these healing conversations through Oh We Gonna Talk, and everywhere else they can find you?
Yes. So you can find me on Oh We Gonna Talk, which is on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch as well. We have pages all over the place, and so hopefully there'll be more to come. We air live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on across all of these streams, and it's an opportunity to hear us talk about these very important generational traumas that we're passing down. So I hope that you all join us this Wednesday. We're going to have a very good show about single Black women and breaking down the myth on that, because we absolutely need to hear that as well. And so I hope to see you guys join us this Wednesday. You can join us on Facebook Live here as well, and get some more of that healing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Again, continue your fight, sis. Continue your work.
All the amazing people out there. Have a great day, everybody. Love guys. Y'all check out Oh We Gonna Talk everywhere, and we're gonna keep this something amazing. And I'm blessed to be the co-host of Xavier.
We gonna keep it all rolling with Miss Hart. So we have another amazing people that we Mr. Lip
All
Lewis.
right, ladies and gents, we are having a little problem with Natalie's sound. So we're going to take her off and hope she hops out and hops back on. Meanwhile, are you guys enjoying the show? We have some comments over here on the side for Ms. Sante. And I hope you all have been noticing that your comments have been coming across the bottom of the screen. So we have from Shanaze, healers need healing too. That was an awesome point Ms. Sante made. And we definitely need to hear that. We have from Dion, we got to stop branding ourselves with our mistakes. Yes, in fact, Ms. Dion Victoria talked about that at an art lesson that she gave for me. Shanaze says, thank you, Sante Harden Tate, with the purple heart. We do thank you. And then we have Philip. Philip says, Heisen, I needed to hear this. And I might be butchering your words. If so, I'm sorry. Philip says, this woman is speaking power into our blood. You are light love. First of all, Philip coming with the lyrics, he ain't even up yet. And I'm like, dang. All right, I'm going to bring Miss Natalie Battles back up. But remember, your comments will still be coming across the screen.
All right, let's do a quick mic check. Can you hear me? Sound better?
Yes.
All right. Now, internet and technology does what it wants. Okay.
Hey,
but we back, baby.
Zoom
Thank
live.
you so much. Zoom live, virtual live. We for it. We're going to figure out the kinks and make it work. But thank you all so much for your amazing comments. Thank you all for rocking with us. And keep the feedback coming. We appreciate it. I'm sure the performers and the speakers appreciate it as well. So, Chanel Lane already mentioned Mr. Lip dropping bars in the comment section. It is now his turn to come on up on screen. Mr. Lip. Now, Lip Lewis is an amazing heart and spirit. I absolutely love him and adore his energy. He is a streamer. He is a writer. He is a performer. He is amazing. So I present to you all for your virtual applause, Lip Lewis.
Hello. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too, always. Now, if you guys have ever seen any live or talk show, me
honey,
and
girl, it gets real with us too.
But the floor is all yours for your performance.
Thank you. Well, first of all, before going into anything else, I need to do a huge shout out to Shantae. That was phenomenal. I've never heard words truer spoken. I'm going to do a quick piece that I've been writing a lot. Actually, since the interview that I've had with Nat, we've been talking about mental health in the same capacity, and I just kind of got to thinking about if I could create a user manual for how to be oneself and how to understand oneself. What do you do? So this piece is called The Instructions of Being, a Modest Memorandum. Start from a place you knew you were insignificant. Make that your nested and incubated seed. Find the resources and supplies that develop potential. Build fortresses upon dreams, aspirations, and photocopied heroes. Make this place your home, but only temporary. Breathe it in. Make it all that it is and more than it ever could be. Know yourself backwards and forwards, then know yourself forwards. Watch yourself grow and learn. Actually, listen, though. Join the daring squad of highly trained ninjas. Take a singular Cornish hen to a Thanksgiving feast, but invite everyone to the table. Go to a movie under the influence. Regret it. Show up and show out and do everything anyone else can do, but do it your way. Do it in heels, knowing that a raised eyebrow may show when they see it. So, break your heart and learn how to piece it back together again. Console and heal your wounds with tears, laughter, and better days. Pour a little whiskey, rum, vodka, or tequila in for good times. Drink water. Fill your body like never before. Dare yourself to grow up, create change, solve infinity and the indelible meaning of life. Direct a play. Read a book. Direct more. Abandon all else against your own will and make a path for yourself. Reach for the sky, take flight, and soar. Find new winds and new waves to drift you to new locations, never forgetting where you were going or where you've been. Find a new place that you now know you are weakest. Drop a new seed there, then repeat.
So yeah,
Thank you.
that's the instructions of being.
So yeah, that's the instructions of being.
I love that. I love how unapologetic it is.
Yes, so
It's gotta be.
I love that. So, can you tell us a little bit about what inspired this piece within you?
Yes. So, shout out to everybody who is in my stream chat. Everybody who's in this stream chat today. People around me. I've just been noticing through obviously this pandemic, through this kind of readjustment period for everybody. People still move. People still navigate. It is amazing to watch how. Someone who is met with multiple challenges continues to push forward. And I think that in this period, I was doing a lot of thinking about like what happens when you keep hitting that wall, and how can the phrase that everyone says is like there's no book, there's no manual or instructions on how to do these things. And so I was like, what if I created it for me and wrote that book for myself? I do a lot of talking with individuals who ask me about mental health. How to step out of yourself and look at it. I know, Nat, when we were having our interview, we were talking about the idea of looking at yourself as that other person. And what do you do to support that person first so that you can support other people? And so I was like, if I create a manual, at least for myself, I can start having a conversation with other people about what that instruction manual looks like for them.
That's beautiful. I just love. I'm gonna say it again. It's unapologetic. You like pour a little tequila, pour a little what it is. They gonna be that so but I think that's one huge part about mental health that a lot of people don't understand. It's a lot of mental health, in my opinion, is also tied to other people's perception of you. Other people's response to what you'll say, what you do, what you'll look like, or even what they may say based on what you say, do, or look like. But once you go within and say, I don't care. I really don't care. I'm going to be me. I'm going to love me. Whether, I'm a stick figure, or if I got rolls, or if I'm bald, or if I got long hair or patches.
Exactly.
I'm going to love me, and I'm going to do what I want. Because your opinion really doesn't matter. And I think that's the part of individuals' mental health journeys. When we hit that point, the world opens up. And we're going to get to Dion's piece in a second. But for that drink the water, I was up here like,
you got to be hydrated. You got to be hydrated.
Stay hydrated. And I think that's that part. Like, we can get to the yellow when we look within and be comfortable with exactly who we are. Following off what Dion said earlier, not burdening ourselves down with our mistakes. Just know we made them, and move forward, give ourselves grace, and be comfortable with what we decide to do, even if we make a mistake. Going to what Sante said, just making sure that we're always practicing on being our best self for the next time around, and that's that sweet spot. That's that your piece. It really reminded me of that.
I wanna hit to another note because obviously I was doing edits at a point where Nat had made this huge post, like this beautiful spiritual like enlightenment moment. It was talking about getting your order at Starbucks. It was my favorite thing ever because I'm writing this and I'm just like, yeah, I'm writing my instruction manual. I need to make sure that it fits me. But Nat had this idea that when you go to Starbucks and you're just like rushing, you're trying to get things going, you find that order and you know what you want. You know specifically, this is what I get. This is how I function. This is what I need to. This is the fuel to get me through the day. And when you're rushing, you grab somebody else's order. Well, it's important because that ain't your order. And that's not for you. And so sometimes you have to take that time to stop and say, all right, well, this is what I need for my day. I didn't ask for a triple latte with like extra foam. I asked for a glass of water. I asked for that moment, that breath that I need in this cup that's for me. And so when I was doing my edits, I listened to that video that you gave and I was like, this is speaking to this piece 100%. This instruction manual has to be to your order. And to that point, there's no one size fit all. There isn't that instruction manual for how to just fix mental health. Everybody has their own customized handbook, but it don't start until you start writing that book for yourself. Till you start saying, this is what works for me. This is what doesn't work for me. Maybe it is a little bit of extra whiskey today. Maybe it's just, you know what, hold up, I need to put that bottle away and I need to read a book. Maybe it's the idea that I just need to dance it out in my living room, or maybe it's just I need to sit and chill. So like everyone has their own handbook. Everybody has it, it's there, but don't go picking up somebody else's book thinking it's gonna fix your life. That's not your order.
That's not your order. Yes, I love that. I love it. And I love what Shanae is saying in the comments too. She said, thank you, look, but absolutely true. In your own journey, finding your own rhythm is amazing. So I'm happy. I'm so happy that you're at that place where you're like, all right, I'm gonna write it for myself. And that's the thing. And you're a writer. Yes. We all are in a way, because we're the writers and the authors of our lives, and we don't have a lot of say so on the things that happen around us that other people have control over. But what we do have control over is our decisions and our choices, right? Yeah, and so we when we write our books, when we write our stories, we create it, and I love that. I love that.
I've been saying it ever since you said it too. That ain't your order. I was like, you know what? I that is a part. I could get that tattooed on my body. It ain't your order. It ain't your order.
But now just be patient and wait on yours, because that's not yours.
It will show up. Exactly. It will come to you. I appreciate that so much. I love that idea that, like you said, not everybody's a writer, but everybody has their own story. Everybody, I did say initially that I am a writer as an introduction, but I do hold a lot of many different hats, and I think ultimately all of them comes to the culmination of being a storyteller. What is your story? And what inspires me with pieces like this is how I can sit down and get to know people that I meet, like Shantae, like you, like Hughes, who's in my chat right now. You all have different stories, and I take that in. I make that a part of my story. I make that another lens in how to tell the story, the universal story that we all have.
That's beautiful. Okay, now let's get back to the formalized questions, because we've been kicking up. Yes, I love that. I love it. But the written questions, okay? So the first question, it actually ties into what you just kind of described with the piece, but your artistry, because you do a lot. You perform. You're an amazing director and actor and writer and all of these different things. How does your artistry tie into your mental health journey?
I do a lot of work that centers around people. Any job interview that I do, I always kind of make a point to say, people are my passion. People are the center point of what I do. I've done a lot of work within mental health realms. I've worked at an all-boys school. I've done work with the University of Chicago for mental health, adolescent health. I just love the sense of communication, and wherever there is a form of philosophy, a form of breaking bread, a form of telling that story, I will try and make sure that I'm in the center of that room when it happens. So my directing, my acting, my writing all centers around the human like condition, how to communicate to people, how to understand each other, and more specifically the intersections that happen there. So one of the things I enjoy about you and I is that Nat, you're going to live a completely different life than I have, but there are different similarities that are there. And when we sit down and start breaking that bread, we get to know more about each other and know that there's stuff that I can learn from you, there's stuff that you can learn from me, and that part that I like to call it the roux. That roux is where all the flavor is. That's where everything kind of happens. It's all mixed, right? It's all about the mix. It's you can eat a good carrot, you can have a good onion, but it's when you start putting that into the pot and cooking it together, that's where the real good flavor comes from.
Yes, I love it. And like life is a roux. It's like a stew, all the flavors, all the different spices in there together. And we got a weave on
Just a disclaimer, y'all. I will probably talk about food way too much in this area. I love me some food. That's something I need to definitely put in my instruction manual is eat, baby. Eat everything you can possibly find.
And so my next question is, why is mental health important to you? Why is this conversation, especially Black mental health or melanated mental health, why is this important to you?
There is a huge stigmatism that when you start speaking about mental health, then immediately you're like a pariah. There's something about you that's wrong. And that really bothers me because I come from a household where if you have something that's on the table that needs to be talked about, that needs to be worked through, it only gets better when you do that activity, when you actually have that conversation. Because of that, I do what I can for other folks because I know that for myself, I have a lot of history with mental health. I have a lot of kind of run-ins and crash throughs, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't about the moment that I actively chose for myself. I'm going to lean into it rather than kind of brush against it. I think there's this kind of mentality, specifically within the Black community, but I will probably venture out to say pretty much the human condition is that you're stronger when you kind of do away with talking about mental health. If I say that everything's fine, if I say that I don't have any issues, I say, no, it's nothing. What you said didn't affect me, then I'm a stronger person for it, which, let's just be honest, it's not true. Right. Oftentimes what happens is that you build these kind of bricks in these walls and you can't really like dive through to what really matters. So yeah, it may not make you a weaker person, but it's definitely making you a distant person. It's making you a colder person. It's making you a more isolated individual. Whereas there's strength with breaking down that wall and saying, I'm going to address this head on. I'm going to talk about this. Some of the more heroic figures in my life have all chose to say openly, like just now I just met I believe I just met her, Shantae. The discussions, that the bold approach to saying, I'm going to say the word, I'm not okay, I'm going to say this is what I need for myself. That's a form of heroics for me.
Absolutely, because healing isn't easy.
It's not.
It's easier to put on a mask and be like, I'm good. Going to what Shanae was saying in her piece, that's how we're conditioned. When somebody asks how you doing, we don't really think about how we doing. We don't sit and internalize it. How am I feeling today? We just go, oh, I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm good. But how often do we really sit still enough to say how we feel, to check in with self? Because we're always go, 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 go. And in the moments where it is quiet, we fill the void with something else. So we need to take that time to really sit and say how we feel, because healing is hard. And that's the strength to say, I'm going through right now. That's the strong thing to do, regardless of, like your piece, unapologetically, regardless of how somebody going to look at you or how they may feel about how you feel, you're doing it for you. And that's a strength and that's a courage that a lot of people do not have. So thank you, one, for having that strength and that courage.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And so the next question is about people in the eye of their storm. But before we go into that one, I want to ask you, you mentioned a little bit about your mental health journey already, but if you wouldn't mind going into a little bit about your mental health journey, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. I some things that have resonated in this piece already, in today's performances already that speak to me is the idea of discussing domestic violence and discussing depression. These are all things that it's easy for me to say, like, yeah, these are the experiences that happened to me when I was younger leading up to now. But I think one of the most important things is that idea that it felt like I was alone in that. And to me, that's where a lot of this kind of juice comes from, this passion to kind of connect with other folks. There's a lot of times in my life where I felt anxious. I felt completely kind of grief-ridden with a lot of things that happened in my life. But the thing that hurt the most about it is that I felt like I was uniquely going through it by myself. I felt like my experiences were the only things that I could handle. I can only see through my own fog. And so I did a lot of work with writing because for me, I don't know if anybody else shares this, but I do have a harder time communicating to people directly verbally. I feel like one of the reasons that got me into writing is that when you write, you can think about what you say, you can edit it, you can take time with it, and then you can give somebody a formalized, like, thought out idea of what you meant to say. Whereas when it's coming out of the mouth, things are not clean, they feel dirty, they feel like messy, they feel like unorganized, and it doesn't always get out exactly what you want to convey. So that was my form of outlet, was to write it out and then give it to people. And then through that, I've learned from the writing that there are things that you just say. You don't have to edit everything that you do, because sometimes you can over edit what you say. Sometimes you can spend a lot of times in your head thinking, this is only I can process this thing. Nobody else is going to understand what I'm going through. So just in the past couple of years, I've been doing a lot of work to say, let me put the pen down actually from that. That's been a safe spot. That's worked for me for now. But let me try this new thing where I find a new way to communicate to people. I find a new way to interact with people. I find a new way to be unorganized in front of folks. I think that one of the things that we talk about with this unapologetic piece is that sometimes it's okay when somebody is talking to you and they ask you, how are you doing? You can say, I'm messy. I don't have anything organized today. My life is turned upside down, but you know what? It's okay. And you asked about it, so I'm giving it to you. If you don't want it, don't ask about it. Exactly. So that idea of just saying, I have this thing and I can communicate to other people. I can be more forthcoming and be more honest. It's like you said, it's another form of bravery. It's another form of inspiration that I find, and that's where I'm headed in my life with that.
Yes. So I love that you're coming out of your comfort zone. I always say life starts outside of your comfort zone. Wherever you're comfortable, take a step up, like, or out.
Yes, yes.
There's more. There's more. So putting that pen down and saying, you know what, let me talk to some folks. Let me say, let
me engage.
Right. And it's a beautiful thing. And not saying that you can't ever put that pen back up or, do it entertainingly, be writing while you're talking. But to say, this is what I need to work on, and then actively working on it, that's healing. That's what healing is identifying and then actively working to make those situations better, or those areas
I do
better.
Want to shout out
and you're doing
it. Always active. Healing is always active.
Always active. You're never going to be completely healed. And you know what? I'm done. Nope.
Right. You're never done with that. I do want to shout out somebody that said something really amazing. They say, where was it?
Change is never going to.
It's along the same line. Oh, here we go. Sometimes you have to be okay with being uncomfortable, because I feel that being uncomfortable is the starting point to change. Change is never going to feel comfortable. If you are used to doing this thing the one way, you're going to always feel comfortable doing it. And when you do changing, what I love, we were talking about before as well, the sense of autopilot. This idea that I can go through life because I know what it is, I can follow it. It's done. It's taken care of. But the second that you start creating change and feeling uncomfortable, then you have to be on your toes a little bit more. You have to think about how I'm doing things, which means, guess what? You're living your life instead of just kind of phoning it in.
Right. Floating by.
Exactly.
Just doing things from muscle memory. It's like, no, you're living now. Look at that.
That feel good.
Maybe a little uncomfortable, but you're doing it.
that? It's like learning how to ride a bike. You scared of the mug, you gonna fall off.
Exactly.
But look at you go. Look at you going.
You're moving.
So
You're going forward.
I love that. Getting out of your comfort zone, knowing and seeing where you need to work, and then actively doing that work. And so there's the last question on In the Eye of the Storm. For everyone or anyone who may be watching or will see this, what is something that you would tell them in the eye of their storm?
I know that there's a lot of you all right now that are experiencing the storm and you feel like there is no exit to it. Or you're seeing that feeling where you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Specifically to those folks, there is power and control of what you have right now. You can always start small. Even in the piece, I spoke about sometimes the only thing that you have control over is your own breath. Sometimes the only thing that you have control over is getting a drink of water. Maybe it's just sitting in your moment and letting your body do what it naturally does. One of the things that's really amazing when you kind of really think about what the body does, blinking happens without you consciously doing it. If you think about how many times you blink in an average day, you know that your body is a beautiful and functioning machine. So if you think about those things that you can control and just expand upon that, maybe after you do the breathing and drinking, you say, you know what? Well, I can't control how I think about myself. I can't control maybe how much I sleep today. I can't control maybe how I'm eating today. I can do bigger things so that eventually I can get a better sense of what I can have control over. But just ultimately, for all of you all who are in that eye of the storm, there is always at least something that you have control over. And if you start small and let it grow to be bigger, you will realize that you are in control of a lot more than you think you are.
That's amazing. We always have something that we're in control of, small or large.
And just refer to the manual. Just refer to that manual that you wrote.
And you know what? That's what we should recommend to people. Write your manual. Your manual. Your order.
Yes. Yes.
Not Philip order. Not lip order. Your order. What is your order?
I will keep on streaming.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and move on because we'll talk for forever.
Yes, we will, you guys. I will keep on streaming on my page if you guys follow me at twitch.tv/mxlip90. I will send the link to you guys so you guys can post it wherever, and I'll put it in the chat as well.
Awesome. And then tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm mostly on Twitch most of the days. I've been kind of slowly backing away from social media for a little bit. That's another form of like me kind of recuperating. But you can typically find me there. I do have YouTube, but it's all kind of connected within that Twitch page.
Okay. So if they hit the Twitch, they got you.
All the different links from there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Philip. You know I love you. I love your energy. And
always.
Unapologetic for the rest of the show. That's the word.
Oh, the rest of the show. That's it.
Claiming our orders, and we unapologetic about it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, we are going to keep it moving. And next, we are getting ready to check back in with Dion Victoria.
Before we check back in with Dion Victoria, just one housekeeping rule. We know that we have been here for a while. So I just want to let you all know that during this time that Dion Victoria is doing her activity, after she shows us this painting, after that,
I'm excited about that.
If you need to take a break, please take a break, get you some water, go to the bathroom. And if you want to stay and just chill and do Miss Dion Victoria's exercise that she's going to do with you, by all means do that. But we don't want you to think that this is not a break. This is a break for you. And please return, because we have so much more awesomeness for you guys. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Natalie, and we can continue with the show.
All right, we're ready to bring up Miss Dion Victoria. I ain't talking no more, not in this part. This is your time, Miss Dion Victoria. Again, the award-winning educator and artist, Dion Victoria. Let's see this piece, sis.
Ooh.
Got some adinkra symbols
Okay.
in there. Okay.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. It's not finished because I'm saving that for the end. Y'all know how I do. And I'm actually going to do a time lapse video of what I do because we talked about this before, Nat, how I was like, man, I wish I had recorded that. So I'm going to do that this time. But I did want to talk about, and I'll talk about the piece and the color choices and the symbols at the end as well. But I do want to talk about the art box a little bit. Again, this is a chance to move around. So if you haven't done so this entire time, I hope you do now. Y'all hear my, that's my audience. I got a live audience right now. So what I want y'all to think about though, while you're moving around, stretching your legs, getting some water, is what are some of the thoughts that are coming to your mind right now? What's the talk that you got going on in your head? Oftentimes our self-talk is really negative because it's been trained that way. We watch TV. Oh, a big deal. Social media, although an amazing platform to connect people across the world. Can you share, please? Thank you. An amazing platform to share across the world. It's also, we're seeing a rise in mental health illnesses and things going on because, let me get my co-star, because everybody has an idea of what the perfect life looks like. It's a picture on a screen. And so because we're seeing people looking on social media for validation and they know what their lives are really like and they don't necessarily align with the pictures that they put on social media, we're seeing a lot of negative self-talk. Oh, I'm not good enough to have that. I will never have that. That's not out there for me. People have literally told me my life, the way it's set up right now, I got to lower my standards. And that's because somebody told them that that's how they should view a person in my situation. And that's how I should talk to myself. Instead, though, we can think of different ways to talk to ourselves. I asked you guys to grab a piece of paper and something to write with. Hopefully you did. If you didn't, you have your phone to take notes. Out of the art box is an activity. To inspire yourself. And it includes coming up with a few words that you feel good about. A few words that help you move through what it is you're trying to get through. Remember, we're not getting over, we're getting through. We're going through it. Like a valley or any other road we travel, we're going up, down a path through to wildernesses, if I will. So that being said, make a list right now of about 10 words. My words that I came up with, it's not quite 10, are queen, clear, pure love, creative, evolving, and superwoman. I'm gonna come up with a few more words. When you make those words, I'm gonna give you some homework as well. Your first line of homework is come up with an instruction manual for yourself. The second piece of homework is once you have your list, you're going to put the words on cards or cardstock, something thick that you can drop. Regular paper won't drop the same way, or it might drop different and you'll have a different story. The idea is that when you're feeling down about yourself, you can just drop your cards and see what lands face up, because that's what you need. I don't believe in coincidence, and neither should you. So whatever lands up, facing up, is for you today. I'm a creative queen of pure love, and apparently I'm clear. And you can decorate these cards. I started coloring them with markers. Next, I'm going to go over them with water. But again, you're going to have some cards that help you through your moments. You grab these cards after you make them from your list of words that you're writing right now. You drop them and you say, oh man, I'm pure love, I'm creative, and I'm evolving. It's what the universe has sent you in this moment. It's what you need, right? Because there is no such thing as coincidence. So Step 1, make a list of 10 words that inspire you. Some of these things other people have told me. For example, which one was it? Superwoman. I would never say that about myself. But I've heard so many people say that to me. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll put it on the list. Step 1, a list of words that inspire you. Step 2, put them on cardstock or some other thick piece of paper. Cut them up into cards like so. Step 3, use them in those moments that you need inspiration by dropping them and see what lands up for you. That's all I got. I'm gonna come back later with the piece and how I want to finish it. I hope that was succinct. I know I had some distractions on my end. If y'all got questions.
This. You want this? You want this? Mommy.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Thank you so much, Dion. I'm excited to see how the piece keeps coming along. And so for all of you, really quickly before you see that, Dion, can you tell people about the art box and where they can find more information on the art box? Because this is one of the exercises from the art box, right?
Correct. You can actually find it on Amazon, the art box. There's the instruction manual there. You can also get the materials by finding me on my website, dionvictoria.com. You can follow me on Instagram at @the_Dion_Victoria to find out more about the art box, what I do. I'm actually having a chakra art class, and I'm using the activities from the art box to do these series of classes. You can find that on Eventbrite. You can also follow me on Instagram and see the postings about it there. It's at @the_Dion_Victoria, just like my name, but no spaces.
All right. Well, thank you, Dion Victoria, because as we heard so many times thus far already within the show, art is healing. And so the art box, we're going to get our mental health together by expressing ourselves through artistic practices and through affirmations, because that's basically what this exercise is all about. I got my list of 10 over here. Love, joy, peace, blessed, powerful, focused, patient, wealthy, protected, and provided for. So write your list of 10, guys, transfer it to some cardstock, paint it, make it beautiful, and drop those things when you need a word of the day over yourself, a word of encouragement over yourself. And then again, all the other exercises that are exercises that will be in the art box, because art is healing. So find Dion Victoria and make sure you guys get linked with the art box. All right, beautiful people. I can't wait to see more of that artwork, but we're going to go ahead and keep on moving. And we are at a really good place, you guys. We are right in the middle, and we have our feature performer to come on screen. And I've already let you guys know, but just in case you missed it, our feature performer for today is Cheryl Nell Lane, the poetic storyteller who is bearing her soul to heal yours. So Cheryl Nell Lane, would you please come on up and bless us with a word?
Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be back. I am so happy to be here. And hopefully my words reach your soul. As you all know, I am the poetic storyteller because my poetry tells a story and my stories are poetic. And that is exactly what I want to do here for you all today. I'm going to do a little bit of poetry, a little bit of talking, and a little bit of poetry, if you don't mind. First of all, I am diagnosed with bipolar, generalized anxiety disorder, PTSD. I also have narcolepsy and fibromyalgia, which also sometimes, connects. I was diagnosed with my first mental health issue when I was 15 years old, and I am still surviving it. It's something that I think you're always surviving, even though you're not always in the eye of the storm. when you get out of that storm, then you prepare for the next time the storm comes. And to me, that's surviving. Um, so that is why I wanted to do this event. And I have been in the eye of the storm recently. But we'll get to that in a minute. The first piece I would like to do for you all today uh, is a little bit about bipolar. Living with bipolar can be a good thing, like going to the carnival. Oh, and a great thing when you are manic and the blood is coursing through your veins, the twists and turns of the roller coaster as you ride towards the top, then it turns bad. Right at the moment you realize you're about to fall, the drop, plummeting of your stomach, your mood, your life. You are crashing down at lightning speed into this pit of despair. Then it happens all over again. You relish in the highs and try to survive the lows. Dizzy with thoughts, ideas, and fears racing through your head. Faster and faster, round and round it goes until you are begging, wishing, and praying for this ride to slowly come to an end. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is Topsy Turvy. This next one is a place that I am a lot. I'm not going to say what it's about anymore. I feel like I just want you all to get it. I'll say it after. I see the picture, the perfect hues, shadows, and lights of a meadow covered with grass at night, running across the field, humming a tune, an oak tree with a swing that faces the moon. I glide as time passes by. I let go, then soar through the sky. I can see the picture, but I can't paint it. Images that run through my head are vivid. I hear music. I can play music. I can see dances that I can't perform. There are mathematical equations and illogical situations that stimulates the stimulus in my mind. The neutron-packed highway overcrowds my nerves, are overwritten with thoughts and ideas that I can no longer control, and the accelerated speed of my mind slows down the actions of my body. My attention span diminishes as my pace lessens. My psyche is at rest. Yet I'm moving at lightning speed past new worlds to universes and places never seen with the naked eye. Formula to cure world diseases, feed the hungry, house the homeless, teach the ignorance, and change the hopeless. There is so much that I become overwhelmed with all of the messages shooting at me. They are coming so fast that I can't see, I can't breathe, I can't. Excuse me. What were you saying? So that's Train of Thought. That one is pretty much about anxiety. And I am anxious all the time. That is definitely something that I am surviving all the time. My anxiety, my anxiety works in this way. So it it works in a really strong way. Like, I'm really anxious about transportation. I'm really anxious about things, and like the poem said, I get overwhelmed because I think about everything so much and become so anxious. And it's kind of like Sante said in the beginning, like as empaths, as healers, as caregivers, you know, we heal so much, or we aid in the process of healing, and then we can sometimes take on that, and instead of healing ourselves, we try to keep healing others and taking on and keeping your own and taking on, and you don't have room for all of that. So you have to learn to take time for you and to heal. As you all know, I am always bearing my soul to heal yours. And recently, I have been going through, like I said, an eye of the storm myself. I am in the midst of surviving a mental health episode. I have been extremely depressed lately, really, really low. And it came a point where I had to realize that I needed extra help. So I decided, with the help and suggestion of my counselor and my caseworker for my mental health services, to enroll in an IOP, which is an intensive outpatient program. So what you do is you go to this program 4 days a week for a couple of hours a week, and you work on different things to help you uh, basically help you survive, help you get tools to heal. And I definitely need that extra help because I am at a point where what I was doing was not working. And I just want everyone out there to know that if you get to that point, do not be afraid to get the help. I know that it's scary. I know that it's the unknown. I know that you have all of these stories in your head about how it can be and how it was for this person. And my Aunt Jan said this, but I guarantee you, if you willingly get the help, if you take charge for yourself and say, hey, I am going to do this because this is what I need, that's the way you want to go into it before someone else is telling you, you have to go because this is what we telling you need. If you need help, do not be ashamed. Do not be afraid. That's why we need to talk about things like this so that mental health is normalized. Mental wellness is normalized. Like I said earlier, everybody suffers with mental health at some point. Everyone is anxious about something. You ever been anxious and your blood pressure goes up? Then you're anxious. That doesn't mean you have generalized anxiety disorder, but it does mean that you're dealing with a mental health issue. When you get depressed, that doesn't mean that you're suffering from severe depression. It doesn't mean that you have bipolar. It just means that you're depressed. Everyone gets depressed. And the other thing I want to say is go to counseling. Get therapy if you need it. That's another thing about if you need help, get the help you need. I know, again, it's scary. I know, again, that it's hard, but do it for yourself. And like we was talking about earlier, and Lip said, do it unapologetically. This is something that you need to do for you. Now I'm going to read two more pieces that are new, that were just written, that they're still in the notebook. That's how new they are. So the first one that I'm going to read is actually was just finished today. That's how new this is. Hot off the press. So I hope all of you out there are listening. I hope you are intaking. If you're catching this on a replay, please ingest the information we're sharing here with you today. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm finna drop this fire. So if you stepped away, you might want to step back. Here we go. I am not okay. I I am afraid. I'm shaking like I have ice water running through my veins. I am so stressed and frustrated. I want to snap on everybody. I'm so agitated. My nerves are distressed like blue jeans. Emotions heavy on my shoulders, fall to my knees, praying to the wrong deity for help, sharing ideas and dreams, secrets I should have kept. I close myself off from fear of being hurt, but still wishing someone will help me dig through the dirt. Come close to my fire, reach into my soul, and not come out burned. I keep wearing my happy mask because that's what I've learned. There are so long that the bugs, maggots, and worms share the space between the mask and my skin, devouring me from years of not wearing, of devouring me from years of wear, not letting me breathe. Stress, trauma, and deceit, leaving scabs where flesh should be. Depression is the invisible pillow suffocating me. People can't see this damn disease. Just because it lives in my brain doesn't mean it's all in my head. Don't mock me. Just reread what I said. Bipolar is like Dasani and Crisco. They don't mix. Sadness, anxiety is happiness being within your reach, but you being afraid to grab it. The other shoe has dropped, blocking the exit. Now I'm trapped, moving around in the darkness by reflex. Blind so long I had to adapt. My hands are tied, so I'm unable to participate in pleasantries. How can I hold extreme emotional energy with no extremities? So it spills to the ground, and my cup runneth over, drowning me in the process because I have no cover. I am not okay because of the pain. I am afraid because of the rain. Leaves me shaking like I have ice water running through my veins because the wind stays cold when the pressure don't change. And that's that piece. And then I'll be coming to you guys with one last piece. And this is actually the piece that have been the inspiration for this event. And it's called Storms of Sorrow. It's going to rain today. I know because the clouds hang low, doing their best to block the sun. Dreariness from the world outside through the process of osmosis merges within the weaker parts of me, penetrating my shell, broken like the walls of my heart, cracks created from pages that refuse to burn, my fire inside extinguished by the high wind of swirling clouds. It snatches me down further into the eye of the storm, stealing any breath of joy I had left. The rain falls down on me hard and steady as I sit in my chair in the middle of nowhere, without outer covering, no shade in sight. I'm caught in its life source as it turns deadly. My lens of clarity are foggy. There's a film between me and reality. Things racing around me like my thoughts. Neither will stop. I am past wet, I am drenched. Clothes soaked with sin provides no protection from the hail. Defying gravity, attacking my spirit sideways. Striking me with heavy blows, weight of sadness, grief, pain, and suffering. Regression, anxiety, depression, and stress. I coil into a ball to heat myself, fight off the chill the storm has left. I unwind to find a crumpled paper of ideas left behind. Failed attempts I placed in the trash. Dreams and aspirations never come to pass. Moving fast while staying still, coming in last on a hamster's wheel. Weather makes me tired, like chamomile tea. Changes in the atmosphere, fucking with my energy. I've been so mad that I fell asleep, exhausted to the point I can't read, focused so low I can't write. It really breaks me up. Taking what little I have to concentrate on others' stuff. Guess that's why I can't pour from an empty cup. Flood rising higher, choking me while I rest, interferes with me doing my best. I want blood to flow from my pen. Except my feelings are all locked in, fighting for my dam to break. Let my tears mix with the rain to wash all of this pain away. I don't want to say, I don't want to do, I don't want to be. I wallow in blue. Fog covers what's exposed, making me invisible. Shutdowns inevitable, trapped in the cerebral. I have forgotten, frozen by the snow, must get up in order to go, but fatigue keeps me from going inside or making a change. So, damp to wet, soaked to drenched, here sits I, going insane. I am so fucking tired of the rain. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you all being here and giving me space. I really appreciate this because you all didn't have to watch this. These people didn't have to perform. They didn't have to speak for us. However, they did because they believe in what we're doing and we believe in helping spread awareness of mental health, especially in the Black community. And it's so close to my heart because I live with it. I am surviving it. And I know how real it is. Something so tangible that can't be touched is phantom to some people. But when we perform, when we give words to it, when we talk about it, it becomes visible. People understand. And kind of like Lip was saying earlier, people find out they're not alone. I want people who watch this to be like, oh my goodness, there is somebody else. There are things I can do. This is not the end for me. I am not the only one suffering by myself in solitude. If you must look at me, don't hold me higher to a higher standard because I am human. And as always, I bear my soul to heal yours. I will always be open, honest, and true. because what you do for me, I do for you. And just thank you again. Thank you for holding space. Thank you for coming. Thank you for checking it out. Thank you for learning. Just thank you. Just thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you for bearing your soul because it's not easy. It is not easy, especially for you to be here for all of us today, not even just with all of us, to be here for all of us today in the midst of your storm to share exactly how you feel and what's going on with you. Your transparency is beautiful. Your story is beautiful. You are beautiful. And the fact that you are here to encourage others in the midst of your own personal storm speaks volumes to who you are as a person. It speaks volumes to your artistry and how you use your artistry not only to heal you, but to heal others. And it is in the simplest form to be stated is beautiful, inspiring, courageous, and powerful. Because I know everybody out there watching feels the exact same way that I feel when hearing you say these pieces. It's powerful, it's beautiful, it's human. And as you stated, as we were coming in to start the show, that's what you wanted to do with this event. You wanted to make sure that people see mental health issues and people who suffer and surviving and fighting through mental health as human. It's a humanity issue. And you gave it a human face and a human name, and everyone else who's performed thus far and those who are going to perform, that's exactly what we're doing. So thank you, Chanel. Thank you.
thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Blessings. So I'm going to ask you
Blessings.
a couple questions, okay?
Okay.
For the people,
I'm ready, I think.
all right? I think. Again, just thank you for sharing because it's not easy. As we've already stated, we got to get outside of our comfort zone. And you're definitely outside it. You're sharing, you're giving life to others. Your artistry, because you are the poetic storyteller, using your words to heal and letting people know that they are not alone. How important is it for you to facilitate this event, but also feature at this event, sharing your own personal story as a Black woman dealing with mental health issues? Why is that important to you? And how does that relate directly to your artistry?
It's very important. As I just shared with you guys, it's something that I know very well. It's something that I have experienced from every side. I've had loved ones with mental health issues. I have had, I've had people look at me like, oh, is she going to do something because she, has this mental disorder? I have people that say, oh my God, I would have never known that you had this, or question if I do have it. Like, are you sure? Who said that? Actual doctors ask me this, which is ridiculous. Um, but yes, like, yeah, I do. I've been tested and everything. I'm good. Uh, but it was important for me to do this for the everyday Black woman who may be suffering, who are surviving their mental health, and they might be in a place where they're like, I am not going to be able to hold this. I don't know how much more I can take. I don't know what to do about that.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you do. My thing is writing. Y'all know my thing is writing. Y'all know my thing is journaling. Okay? But there are people who that's not enough. There are people who need to go to therapy. There are people who need to go to doctors. And just because you go to therapy does not mean you're got to get medicine.
True that.
First of all, the therapist and the psychiatrist is two different people.
Come on.
So let's start there. But yeah, I just really want to bring awareness to it, to give it a face, to tell people that even though you're scared, courage is not the absence of fear. because there can't be courage without fear. Courage is taking your fear and still moving forward. And that's what I need y'all to do. Move forward, whatever that may be. As Lip said earlier, that may be chilling, put your feet up, put on your heels, look cute, listen to some Luther, listen to some Donnie Kirkland, listen to, whoever rapping nowadays. I'm too old, I don't know. But chill out. Listen to you some Xavier battles. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you need to do to relax, but sometimes that does not work. Sometimes you need that extra help. And we as a community needs to stop putting negative stigmas on people who need that extra help. And also, what we need to do, all my people in legal, all my people in government, you know what I'm saying? All that, we need to get together and we need to put it in more jobs that people get mental health time. Okay? You going to work, you working yourself to death. People getting on your nerves at work, kids getting on your nerves at home, the people getting on your nerves at your after school job, like bills, everything, your boyfriend getting on your nerves, your husband getting on your nerves, the baby dad getting on your nerves, whatever it is.
Systemic racism, all types of stuff. Police killings.
Generational traumas. Come
all
on.
types of stuff.
Because, we going to talk about it today.
Come on.
Shout out to Sante. So we need to break that stigma. We need to give ourselves resources. There are people out here fighting for us to have resources in our communities for mental health. And if you want to know more, do Google it. There are some organizations out here doing great work. Hip hop and mental health. Abari Cartman has something for the men. He's going to speak in a minute. I'm sure he can tell you more about it. We got Sister Afia for the women. Like, it is so much if you just look. And if you qualify for these programs, please take advantage of them, because there are so many people who don't. There are so many people who don't. And if you have the opportunity to get the help you need, take it. Because what you do now will make you better in the future. I don't know what just happened to my camera. It just went off. Maybe it did.
We still hear you though.
I know. Hold on. I'm going to switch my camera.
But absolutely. And if you're on aid and different things like that as well, when it comes to healthcare, you all have if you're with the county, there is still opportunities within those realms where you can get counseling services as well and mental health services as well. So wherever you are, even if you think you can't afford it, if you feel you need it, please seek help, because you're not alone. Everyone thus far has spoken, and the people still left to speak. You are not alone. It is human to feel what you're feeling. Some people just feel it a little more than others, and if you're that person, that's okay. Do that unapologetically. That's you. And love you for all you are, whether it's too high or too low. That's you. Love you and get the help that you need, and do it for you, because we just always want to be our best self. And if we need to talk to someone to be our best self, then that's something we need to do. And moving forward.
I think this is I'm sorry. I think this is a comment
from Twitch.
It says, but what about moving forward and feel nothing but pain? That is an excellent question. You have to move forward to heal the pain. It's gonna hurt like hot coals. But once you get to the water,
Mm.
once you get to the place where you can get healing, once you get to the place where you can release, once you get to the place where you can repair yourself, you're going to say, oh, that was definitely worth it. Me conquering that pain, me conquering that fear to take this step, it was so worth it in the end. So worth it in the end. I'm scared. I'm in pain. I don't have to tell y'all how long it took for me to go to this program. It had been suggested to me for a long time. But I was like many people. I was like, I ain't going. It's at the hospital. I'm not doing it. But I had to say, it's at this point, I need the help. I just need it. And it's like, do you keep living in pain every day? I used to have a blog called A Black Woman Living in Pain. For those who've been following me that long, that's back in the day. And I changed the blog name because I said, I don't want to be a Black woman living in pain.
Come on.
I don't want to write from a place of pain anymore. And that doesn't mean that I don't feel pain. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that there aren't times that I'm in pain. Mm-hmm. But what it does mean is I'm not writing from a place of pain. Everything that happens to me is not painful. Mm-hmm. So yes, we're talking about the
word right there too. Not to cut you off, but I definitely feel that that's the word. I was watching a show called All American just last night, and they were talking about the racism in the world and the police violence and killings and all of that. And the young lady was just so upset. She was just so mad. She had an encounter with a racist white girl, and she was really upset. And she was saying, how can this be the America we live in? We need to do more. We need to, do that. And in the moment, the young man stopped her and he said, this has always been America. This has always been who they are, but it's not who we are. And we are great because we rise in spite of that part, and that what they think of us doesn't determine who we are, right? And in that moment, he said, so let our, acts of fighting against this be Black joy. Because they were planning a graduation party for his mother, who had just graduated and got her degree. But in that moment, he said, let our fight be Black joy. And so I feel like that coordinated with what you said, because sometimes we have to look at, in the midst of all the chaos, in the midst of all the bad, in the midst of all the pain, we have to look at the joys that we do have, the joys and the things that we can celebrate in the moment. And a lot of times I know when you're going through, it's hard and you don't want to see it, you don't see it, you can't see it, it's hard to see it. I get all of that, but they're there. Gratitude helps soothe the pain. Even if it's the smallest thing, like Lip said earlier, just those small things that you can control, right? This is just, look at my eyes blinking, look at God, right? If it's, I woke up today, look at God. I got a house, a roof over my head, look at God. I got food to eat, look at God. Whatever those things that you have may be, if we can find the gratitude in those things and keep pushing through, not getting over or under, but through those painful moments, like Chanel said, we can make it to the other side, to that soothing water to help soothe the pain and wash it away. So, yeah, that's that. But I do have another question for you, Chanel.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned seeking help, and thank you for getting the help you need. I know it may have been hard or difficult, but you did that, and thank you. Despite what people may think or say or whatever, you did it for you, and that's what we've been talking about all day today. You did it for you. For people who may be in the midst of their storm right now, I want to ask you, how do you find peace? How do you soothe your pain outside of the program that you're in and seeking the additional help that you need? And then what words can you lend to people that may be in the eye of their storm presently?
Well, one of them have been named. I write. I'm not gonna lie. When I wrote Storms of Sorrow, um, what I read is how I felt when I wrote it. I was I was at the bottom of the bottom. I had no idea what was gonna happen next. I'm telling you. So me writing that gave me relief enough to make it to my choice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's amazing. But people who don't write, like Lip said, everybody's not a writer.
Right.
I believe journaling can go for everybody. And journaling doesn't have to mean writing. Like I tell my students all the time, I don't care if you squiggle, I don't care if you paint on it, draw on it, I don't care if you write in a circle, I don't care if you do calligraphy. I don't care. As long as you're getting your emotions out. It might just be you doing this on the paper. But it helps.
Mm-hmm.
My other thing, music. Music. What am I doing all the time, Nat?
Listening to music.
Music. They talk about me all the time because they say I spend so much money on electronics. But that's because if I don't have my music, it's a whole different beast. And music helps with so much. The other thing, I know I don't look it, but movement. And I ain't talking about exercising, even though exercising is good. And any movement is exercise, so it can be an exercise. But I mean dance. Dance like nobody's watching. Sing like you can sing. I don't care how you sound. Everybody can sing. The question is, can you sing well? Sing. I be in this house blowing. And that's not happy songs. That's happy songs, sad song, angry song. He broke my heart songs. I cheated on him song. I don't care. Do it, because that'll help you get some stuff out. Put you on some angry music and sing it. You're going to be like, ah, I'm telling you. Kelly Price. What's the song? Dang it. What she scream? Tired. Kelly Price, Tired. Men, women, whomever. Get that song. If you're going through your mental health storm, if you're in the eye of the storm, go look up Kelly Price, Tired. I guarantee you, play it 3 times. There's a point in the song where she literally screams for like beats, not like, no, like she's like, let it go. And then she screams. And to me, this song is like the epitome, because she's talking about all the things she's tired of. And then she literally says, let it go. And then she screams. And sometimes that's what we need to do. Mm-hmm. We need, as we've been saying, to do away with all this societal BS. Like we gotta break these stigmas and all of that and be individuals. And be yourself boldly and unapologetically, whoever yourself is, as long as you're not injuring yourself, injuring others, or messing with kids. Do you. Mm-hmm. Do you. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Even when that includes getting help. Don't be afraid. So music, writing, painting, music,
dance,
reading,
oh yeah,
music,
reading.
Watching something funny. Oh, comedy.
Yeah. Comedy's my happy.
I don't care what you get in YouTube videos, what they watching, the Talk of the Tick, you know, all that.
The Talk of the Tick.
Watch your funny stuff. Laugh. I don't care how down I'm getting. If I watch something funny and it makes me laugh just a crack, it's over with. Like, I'm laughing. And you might go back to being depressed after that laugh, but that laugh feels good. They say laughter is medicine. They did not lie. They did not lie.
You better talk that tick, girl.
He is so silly. But yes. So that's what I do. I just want to say something before I get off the screen because I can talk all day. I actually have an event coming up Tuesday, actually, June 1st. And it is called Building Intersectional Disability Communities Through Art and Conversation Series.
Come on.
And I am opening up the series June 1st with the Remembering the People We Lost Due to Racism and Violence. Yes. It's going to be a panel with me and Jay. I can't remember his last name, but he's been at my open mic. He's been at several events. I know Nat knows him. He had the super long hair. Yes, he cut it now. But anyway, me and him are the two panelists. So it's going to be great.
And where can they find this event?
I just put the link to the Facebook group event, the Facebook event page. So you all can get that, and I'm trying to see if I can get the other link. I probably can't, but yeah. So I put the link to the Facebook event, so you all can find it there. I'm going to search while I'm off camera to see if I can find the other link, so people that's not on Facebook can also get the link. Okay. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And yeah, so guys, come check me out. I would really appreciate it.
And before you go,
yes,
that word for the people in the eye of this storm.
The word, like a single word?
No, just like a statement. Like,
no matter how hard it gets, and I know it gets hard, you can do it. You can push through. I know it's like you feel like just the weight of the Sears Tower, yes, it's still the Sears Tower, is on you. But you can get from the rubble. Just hold on. Talk to your family. Oh my God. Talk to friends. Please reach out to people. Don't hold it in by yourself. Don't do it. Ask me from experience. Don't do it. Okay, I'm done. Wait, we have a question. Seeing resources for the community service. Is there somewhere we can send our family for more information? Abari is coming up soon, Abari Carmen, and he can tell you all about his programs. And I'll put the link for Sister Afia in the chat so people can get it. And then I'll put it on the screen.
Also some sites where if you're seeking a therapist, there are Black mental health websites for women. There's some from men. There's healing retreats, because one thing that we also need to know is that our mental health, our spiritual health, and our physical health are all in alignment. So another thing is when we're talking about our mental health and the stress and pressures of the world and the things that we're going through, we also have to look at, and people feel a different way about spiritual practices, but again, not tied to any religion, but we have to understand that we are spirit. Within this vessel of a body, we are a spirit. Then you have the body, which is the shell, right? Then you have the mind, which controls it, and where they both kind of link. So mental health is really important where you're looking at your physical health. That's one thing Chanel said was movement and exercise. Shanae mentioned dance and yoga and meditation. These are all things that aligns the mental, the spiritual, and the physical health. Your chakras in different points of your body. There's your chakras, which align with your spiritual health. So I would also recommend that people look into different things in alignment with your spiritual health as well.
All right, I'm going to leave so you can introduce the next person.
Thank you, Chanel. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, guys. It's been amazing. We are definitely feeling feels today, you guys. We're talking about the root of these issues, and hopefully along the way you all are picking up some gems, some key points where you can put in your pocket and save them for a rainy day. And you have the resources and the information for all of the amazing speakers who have spoke thus far, and the ones to come, you'll get their information too. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns after this, or if it's someone you just really enjoyed or would like to hear more from, please contact them personally on their pages and follow them through the things that they're going through as well. All right, so coming up next to the stage, our virtual stage, we have another amazing performer, and this is Xavier Battles the Artist, y'all. He says, simply put, he like Prince, okay? He's Xavier Battles the Artist. That is his introduction. He is an amazing self-taught musical prodigy, if you ask me. This young man plays the guitar, he sings, he raps, and he is all around talented with a beautiful mind. So Xavier Battles, come on up on screen. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
You doing all right? All right.
Yeah.
So the floor is yours to perform.
All right. I just wanted to give a little information about my piece before I say it. I wrote this when I was at like a real low point in my life. I was just, real down, and I wouldn't eat. I couldn't even get out of bed. I was just real low, and I just decided like, hey, I remember one of my, coping skills, which is making music, stuff like that. So that's simply what I did. I made a song, and this is what I came up with. My heart is often possessive. I see the pain in my efforts with many preventive measures to keep this soul in this vessel. No, my tears are not special, but I still fight to protect them. Go to sleep with no blessings. I wake up holding confessions, feeling steady, compressing. Thoughts is really rejective. Try my best to teach lessons, but I just fail to correct them. Feel my soul has been severed. They gave my heart to my tether. Now I stay locked in depression. Gave me pills of protection. They just serve as a weapon against my greatest reflection. Now I'm fighting myself without a rooted connection. Wanna find me some hope that I can trust and believe in it. I can fight for a reason, cause in my dreams I see demons. Trouble stopping the bleeding, and see death when I'm sleeping. No, I'm far from completion, but I just feel I can reach it. Feel my soul has been sinking. I know this world has been weakened. I know their actions are treason. It's like I'm feeling defeated. Gave my love to somebody and watch it break down in pieces. Saw somebody who loved me, shed tears and hope that I see him. Never wanted to leave him. I pray to God they forgive me. Why do my soul feel so empty? Hope that someone will feel me. I'm feeling alone, yeah. Feeling alone, yeah. Feeling alone, yeah. Feeling alone, yeah. Feeling alone. Feeling alone, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's it. That's all.
All right. Thank you so much, Xavier, for that piece. One, I want you to tell us a little bit about the words and what you've stated in that piece. It was beautiful. As far as it was kind of like a window to your soul.
Yeah. So I'll start. The beginning part, I said, my heart is often possessive. I see the pain in my efforts with many preventive measures to keep this soul in this vessel. It basically is like, because, okay, first things first, when I write, I visualize it. So, like, the words that I say, I see it in my head, and the visual representation of that is kind of like, no matter how sad I may get, no matter how many suicidal thoughts I may had or have, and it's like my heart keeps me to my body, because one big thing about me is that actually helps me a lot with calming down when I'm feeling some type of way or when I'm feeling down. What makes me more happy is love. whether that be showing self love to myself and being like reminding myself like I love myself, along with loving somebody else. My heart keeps me here. I think that's one of the main reasons. And not only being able to give my heart and share that with myself, with me being myself, but also giving it to other people and allowing other people to, experience what I have. Um, Parts after that, it's like, I know my tears are not special, but I still fight to protect them. I go to sleep with no blessings. I wake up holding confessions. My feelings steady compressing. Um, I say, uh, when I was writing this song, one thing that I felt was that, I'm not some special individual. You feel me? It's hundreds of people just like me. But regardless of that fact, regardless of how many people it may be, whether there is or isn't, one thing that I still do and I have to remind myself is that I have to keep going. I have to protect myself and my dreams and who I am, my essence. Um, uh,
But you are
this,
special.
yeah, and that's why I specified at that time, because when I wrote this, I was at a very, very low point
I
with
get that.
myself. So this is kind of like a reflection of just what was going through my mind at that time. My feelings steady compressing. Thoughts is really rejective. Try my best to teach lessons, but I just fail to correct them. Um, I hold in my feelings a lot. I don't do it as much as I used to, but I used to really like hold in my feelings, not express them as much, unless it was through music. And what I would do instead is that I would call myself a teacher. I see people who's going through stuff that I went through, and basically um, teach them how to make certain things better or what exactly to look for. Give them information that I wish I had at the time when I went through what I went through. Um, so, but I do see myself being a hypocrite sometimes. I would tell people, it's this, it's that, while simultaneously feeling the total opposite. So I have to,
Well, I think we all can attest to that. We a lot
yeah.
of times we know, some things we need to do, but it's hard to do them. It's hard to
Yeah.
do them.
So,
But I do have a question.
mhm.
Well, you just made a statement. You created this song because you were in a really low place. But I think one thing that's really powerful about the song is that a lot of people can relate to the things that you're saying. So not only was it to me like a window or door to your soul and your mind and what was happening at the time with you, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that can relate to this song as well. So why do you think it's important to talk about mental health and to be able to articulately and artistically say how you're feeling when you're feeling some kind of way and when you're down and when you're in those moments? And share that with the world. Why do you think that's important?
Because number one, already like I feel like mental health is something that's not taken in consideration how it should. Um, and I feel like, especially through things like music and art and stuff like that, something that universally everybody can enjoy and appreciate, um, is like it's a good, excellent way to be able also to properly introduce mental health issues, not just for people, but for themselves. Because sometimes I can't explain how I'm feeling, but if I write a song about it, you can understand crystal clear. Like if we having a conversation, you'll be like, "How I'm feeling," I'll be like, I don't really know how to tell you that, but let me write a song and then I can show you, better. So I feel like just art, whether that be painting, drawing, writing, it just helps. It's expression, self expression, to where you can be able to not only explain to other people, but have a good representation of how you feel to yourself.
Absolutely. And so can you give us a glimpse into your mental health journey and what are some things that you do when you're in your mental health struggles that help you come out?
Um, yeah. When when I've been dealing with mental health issues since I was young. I believe I first got diagnosed um, with my first mental disorder when I was 9. Um, and the main thing that has I found to help me over the years, when dealing with something, or having an episode or anything like that, or just help going beyond my mental disorders and not letting them, you know, dictate me
Mm-hmm.
completely, is just the main thing. Number one, like I said, self love, loving yourself, and allowing people to love you too. Because we can love ourselves, but I feel like we can't. The first thing that people always say, you can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself, and I think that is absolutely true. So we gotta love ourselves, but I also think that you can allow anybody to truly love you if you don't love yourself also. So loving myself, and I still have to remind myself sometimes to this day, and also letting people love you, because sometimes we can push people away or think people is not really with us simply because we have our own insecurities and things that we need to deal on, not letting people, come in.
Absolutely. Okay. And so my last question is, well, actually, before I ask this last question, you mentioned that you were first diagnosed when you were 9 years old, and I know earlier on we kind of spoke on about this with the very first performer, Shanaze. She mentioned she talks to her son about mental health issues, and how a lot of people feel that young people, oh, they ain't really got no drama, they're not really going through anything, which to me is ridiculous. Because if we all look back to our childhood, we got some traumas and some things that we identify with and some mental health issues that popped up as young people as well. And Sante also spoke to how she cancels young people that have gone through different things. So what would you say to anyone who says that, who thinks that young people, have nothing to worry about or no stressors or can't possibly be really going through mental health issues? What would you say to those people?
Well, first off, I tell them to try to open their mind, because I think if you do say that, then it's way deeper than thinking about it just from, oh, a child can't do this. I think you should keep in mind that everybody, no matter what age, what shape, what size, is different and reacts to things differently. Everybody has emotion, whether you're a baby or a grown up. Everybody can go through things. And just because if the same thing happened to you and you may not react in that way, that doesn't take away from a certain person reacting differently. So if I feel like if you just keep that in mind, period, you'll be able to understand that children can also go through things, little kids can also go through things, because whether it be, they went through something truly traumatic that even as an adult would be traumatic to you, or they favorite Lego set just broke, like no matter what it may be, trauma is trauma, and emotions and emotions, and people get triggered by different things. So always keep an open mind and understand that everybody is different, everybody is built different, and everybody reacts to things differently, no matter what shape, size, or age they may be.
Very well said. Thank you for that. And the last point, the last question is, what words of advice or wisdom would you give to someone in the eye of their storm?
I would say, I would say, uh, number one, of course, remind yourself that, find that self love. And if you have found it, remind yourself that you love yourself. But also, um, think about what you have done. Because I know a big thing for me, I dog myself sometimes, and I'd be like, man, I'm not here. I don't have this. Da 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 da. And I truly like forget that, yo, I have done some pretty pretty impressive stuff, you know, some stuff that I would be proud of myself for. But I forget those things. So remind yourself of what you already have accomplished, no matter how small or big it may be. Like, I just think the true key is self-love. Always self-reflect. And if you just truly feel as if you can't find nothing positive to say about yourself or to do about yourself, make it happen. Make something positive happen. It can always be a positive light to spread to yourself.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You straight to the point, coming with hot knowledge, hot fire, and a beautiful perspective. So I want to say thank you, Solomon, for joining us. Thank you for sharing your experience, your journey. And I hope, and I'm going to say I know someone took your words to heart, because it is all about self-love. You can't give or receive love if you don't have it for yourself. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and we're gonna keep it on going. Again, thank you, Solomon. Thank you for everyone who have performed thus far. And at this point, I am going to bring up another really dope person who you've seen several times at this point. We're bringing up Dion Victoria to come right on back up to show us her finished art piece. That was my drum roll.
All right, you can hear me? I like to do the big reveal. Ready?
And okay, you got your screen off? We hear you,
son. Yes. Okay, y'all ready? In 3, 2, 1. Woo! So just to kind of explain it a little bit, we talked a lot about mistakes and like the things that make us who we are. I don't know if you can see like the different swipes. Katie took the brush from me at one point and decided it was her turn to paint. So, you know, as a professional artist, I could have taken that as, oh man, the painting is all ruined now. Or I can take it as, this is yet another mistake built, written in fate, made to make us great. So that's kind of how I took it. I love how she added to the painting. I actually stood her up and made sure she could add to other parts of the painting, because mostly she was able to touch this area. So we have the pieces, we have our mistakes, we have all the things that make us great while we are in the midst of the storm, or the eye of the storm, hence, you know, the title of this event. So that's why I painted an eye. Outside of painting eyes for this event, I'm always painting and drawing eyes, because I do see them as the window to the soul. Whenever I'm looking on social media and people have their happy pictures up, I look in their eyes, because their eyes say more than anything else. That being said, we are here in the eye of the storm. We are looking into the eyes of those who are looking into our eyes, and we are seeing who and what people really are. We're also seeing ourselves. The last connection to the eye I want to make is the third eye. When we take time to listen and check in with self, we are opening our third eye. We're making it more active. And we're making ourselves more able to attune not only to what is happening internally, but what is also happening externally. So that is what's up with this piece. I was really excited to do it. Thank you guys. Again, if you haven't taken some time to really look at yourself in the eye of the storm, make sure that you do. Make sure that you reflect on all of your greatness. We spend so much time criticizing ourselves. We got to give ourselves just that amount of love, if not more. Make sure you are showering yourself with positive words, the positive things that you see in yourself. We all have things to be grateful for within ourselves. So we have to make sure we're taking time to address those things, reflect on those things, and go ahead and make you some inspiration cards so that you can have fate, have quote unquote coincidences tell you how you can be inspired on this day. Again, if you're interested in the art box, you can find it on Amazon. You can also connect with me at www.dionvictoria.com. You can follow me on Instagram at @thedionvictoria. That's also the handle for Facebook. That is all from me, yeah.
Yay! I love it. Thank you so much, Dion. I think it is very important because so many people have said it throughout the day. You, Xavier, just said it, that we have to remind ourselves how great we are. I know, Dion, I know me and you talk about it all the time. We forget how dope we are. All
Yeah,
the
so I have, that's all on the painting. I could sing a song, but I wasn't prepared to do that.
Dion, can you see me and hear me? Can everybody hear me out there? Y'all let me know if you can hear me. Can everyone hear me clearly and see me?
It was Dion. She lost signal.
Okay. I was like, am I all right? But yes, I was just saying it's important how we see ourselves, similar to what Xavier was saying, self-love and all of those amazing things. And when people say take your L's and they talk about you got to take your losses, I always like to reframe that and say take your lessons, because every mistake, quote unquote, can be a lesson to be better. And that's all we're trying to do. That's what it's all about. So we are going to go ahead and move on to our last speaker. Yes, Chanel?
Yes.
All right. So this is going to be our last speaker for today. And this brother here is quite amazing. He is definitely rooted in the streets, okay, of Chicago. He is rooted in the mental health game. He is rooted in the cultural game. And artistically, he's rooted in the African. He's just rooted, okay? This brother rooted.
Rooted.
Ari Cartman, can you please come up on screen?
First of all, while I'm bringing him up, I just want to thank him for coming.
Yes, so much. We want to thank Obari so much.
He made time in his busy schedule to make time for us. So I just want to give him a special shout out. Thank you so much.
We definitely appreciate you carving out some time for this mental health event, because I know that mental health is so important to you.
Absolutely, man. I love what y'all doing. So it's an easy yes. Anything I can do to support y'all movement, I'm for.
Thank you so much. And you have the floor, Key.
You ain't gonna ask me no questions. I can just share. I will say, I mean, there isn't a lot left to say. I've been tuning in and out because I've been moving throughout my day. And I just kept feeling like, man, anything I would have had to offer, someone else has said already. Like, it's just been such a brilliant, full, diverse, like, wise set of performers. And y'all been saying performance. I'm using performances because y'all been saying performances, but none of it felt like performance. You know, it's art technically, and so there's a showcase of it, an expression of it, but it's felt much more like ritual the whole time. It's felt much more like sacred space. And the authenticity of the sharing that everyone has done, that I've witnessed so far, is the healing. Like, there's no, you know, I've been on panels all month, really, you know, all year. People call me to talk about this stuff a lot. And the frame of the conversation is very much, let's talk about mental health. And what you all have done today, the brilliance of this gathering is that you're not talking about anything. Y'all are doing it. Like, y'all are in the work of it in real time. Allowing the opportunities for us to connect and to learn and to heal and to really, you know, do deep dives into self and to elevate beyond, you know, the storms. I love the metaphor that we've been coming back to the whole time. It's the eye of the storm, and what does it mean to persevere? You introduced me, and I appreciate that. Talking about the ways in which I'm rooted, and as you were saying that, I just kept thinking about how important those roots are in the storms that I've endured. That, like, is never because of my brilliance or my intellect at all, or because of my talent. None of anything about me has never been the things that's kept me grounded through the difficult times in life. It's always been the roots. It's always been the community. It's always been the ancestors. It's always been these deep connections to elders. It's never me. And so I never can take credit, even things that I do well, I always, it's very easy for me to deflect, because everything I'm good at, I can attribute to one or two of my parents. Like everything I'm good at, the healing work, the photography, the drumming, the fatherhood, the art, anything I love and I'm good at, I got from my parents. I'm very much a product. I'm very much just I've been transmitted a culture and an assignment that I accepted wholeheartedly. But it's only because I've been studying folks that have been doing this for way longer than me and way better than me, and I'm just doing my best to honor them through my work. And those are my roots. When I think about a storm, I see the wind blowing and the thunder crashing, and I see the people sort of just going to and fro in the melee. Like I see the chaos of the storm, and then I always I'm calmed by the image of those older trees with the deep roots that they might move a little bit, right? But they ain't going nowhere. And that's what keeps me through. Every time we're talking about what is the thing, like what are we leaning on through COVID, through systemic racism, through interpersonal, through dealing with Black folk, to a bunch of traumatized folk trying to make our best of it. We all been damaged. I mean, we all been hurt. We all brilliant and confused. All of us. Like it's just the nature of the world we in. What does it mean to endure that? To like make it through? And it's those roots. And one of my favorite things to do when I travel is I love traveling during storm time. I love when it's raining real hard, and when I'm on the ground, I can experience the storm and the fullness of it, and I can experience the confusion that being in the eye of the storm causes. But then it's just really minutes on an airplane when you can find yourself elevating slowly through the clouds, and then look back down from the top of the storm, and it looks so peaceful from the top. Like this is a whole nother reality once you ascend beyond being in the midst of it. And when I think about what it takes to get through that, to elevate, to see the storm from a different perspective, like the healing just in shifting your vision, your view, just from going into a different position. That's what community allows me to do. That's what elders allow me to do. I'm 41, right? And I'm still doing work with babas and mamas that 80 something that have been doing work as long as I've been alive. And when I'm in their company, it reminds me that like whatever I can complain about, I've been in meetings and I hear young people, man, I'm tired of talking about this. I'm tired of marching. I'm tired of, right? We ain't got we have no. Like we should be ashamed of ourselves when we utter tired, when we end struggle, in liberation struggle with elders that are still doing this work, right? So it's them that I lean on. It's them that remind me that we've been through pandemics on top of pandemics. We've been through worse times as a community, and somehow we made it through. Somehow just us being able to gather here and still love our African selves and still find our skin beautiful and still desire to study our culture. That is the immortality that we have flowing through our veins. It's in our bones, it's in our DNA. Like it's rooted in us. That's the power of what it means to be Black, and still here, because we are the embodiment of what does it mean? What does it mean for people to withstand? And so in those storms, I lean on that. I go to culture. I go to elders. I go to Africa, right? I don't go to, one of the things that, and I start with, I don't really got nothing else to add. Like I'm talking now, but like, it's just really just an affirmation of the things that y'all been doing this whole time. That you and the beauty of your metaphors, just in the work that y'all been doing, have laid out a blueprint for how people can create their own personal airplanes to ascend past these storms, to look at it from a different vantage point, using art, journaling, poetry, music, movement, breath, using connection. And you would just laid out what does it take to make it, and you didn't do it with no PhDs. Like the PhD ain't the thing. It's not what gives me courage or inspiration or insight. It's really just this old sort of reliance on being who we are, who we always have been. So I just wanted to affirm what y'all doing. I really appreciate y'all work. I really, I love what y'all doing, and I just want to support it however I can, anytime I can. So Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for
No,
doing
I
this work.
want to say that you added a very, very beautiful piece to this, and it was perfect for you to come at the end and add this piece. You added the cultural piece to it. We talked a lot about a lot of different healing modalities and how and why, but being rooted in your culture, especially when we're talking about African American people or people descendants from Africa, wherever they may be, African culture and like the rites of passage programs and the way that they move through and rear people up are all healing. Like you said, kind of like today has been like a ritual type of thing. And so I love that you brought that aspect, because I don't want anyone to miss that part of the healing too, because when we talked about loving yourself and knowing who you are, you have to really know who you are. You have to dive into that history and connect to those elders, those rooted old trees. It was beautiful, the metaphors you were using as you were speaking, those rooted old trees, because they have so much knowledge and so much wisdom, and they live through so much, and they're still here. And if they are still here, we can still be here and put our own 2021 spin on it and season it. And we can always, again, go back to being our best self with seeking the help and the different things that we need. So thank you so much. I was like, oh, no, you added. And then to be above the storm and being in the storm, come on here. Come on. But before you leave, I really would love for you to kind of talk just a little bit about your work and what you do, where people can find you and aid in their healing.
A couple of things. So I'm the current president of the Chicago Association of Black Psychologists. So you can find us at our website, chicagoblackpsychologists.com. We doing forums and events virtually and sometimes in person all throughout the year. So that's one place you can look. I'm also the program director for Real Men Charities. We own a space called The Quarry. It's a community center on the Southeast, South Shore, 75th and Phillips. We do wellness circles, if anybody wants to, or in the area. It's open for men and women. We start with a comedic yoga, my tower yoga. Mike Wilson teaches. At about 11:45 we start, and then that's co-ed, and then we break into an all-male sort of healing circle every Sunday. We start with playing drums, and we sit and just talk and chop it up for about 1 to 3. So every Sunday we're available there for that. I have a curriculum called Manifest, the Rites of Passage curriculum, hip-hop based, mental health. I'm doing that in a bunch of different high schools and community centers and prisons and all over the place. I do some writing, and I'm working on a second book about African spirituality. Photographer, a father. So I mean, my work is all over the place, but like the center of it is wellness and culture and identity, and focus a lot on Black men. I have a website, drobaricarpet.com, which y'all can find me there. Instagram, Facebook, I'm all over the place. So if you need me, please. I would love to connect.
And that was actually one of the questions that someone asked about, where can they send their family and their friends seeking resources for mental health. And so you guys can definitely go to Obari's website, definitely check out his organizations and the things that he is doing through mental health for co-ed as well as for men, because it's really important. And I know for us planning this event, it was really important to have a male come on to speak about mental health, because there's a stigma in general when it comes to African American people and mental health. But for men, it's even larger. And we want you guys to know, I'm going to tell you, because you're going to be a representative right now. But I also want to tell you, because you out here doing the work, you're important. You guys are so important. You're needed. And the fact that you are out here pushing mental health and doing the work is extraordinary. And you don't know how vital it is, or you may, but I'm telling you, and my mind is huge. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All that you do, because you're necessary. You are so necessary and important.
Thank you. We all are. I appreciate that, though.
Real talk. All right. Well, thank you so much. Y'all go find Obari, tap into those resources, and make sure that you come in on some of those healing workshops that he's doing. The yoga, I think I might have to slide by and give me some yoga and all of that into.
Come on.
I was like, oh, you say what? Okay. But thank you so much again for carving out some time for us. We really appreciate you, and you definitely brought a beautiful perspective.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Oh man, y'all. It's been wonderful, but we coming up on the end of this beautiful event.
Are
Chanel,
we
it's,
already?
I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Thank you guys so much for coming, for hanging with us, for participating. The comments was on fire. There's links in the comments for you guys to reach people that spoke. Go back, read the comments, rewatch it, send it to people. Share.
Share.
Yes. Share it to people who don't need it, because they might know somebody who need it. Just share
or
it.
you might not know they need it, but they actually needed it. Share.
True that. Yes, please share this everywhere. I really appreciate you all for coming. I appreciate you all for supporting our vision and supporting me. So yeah, thank y'all.
And before we head out, I want to give you guys a little bit of how you can find me and connect to the healing things that I am doing through Melanated in America, which is my for-profit production company. We highlight all you beautiful people who do the work, who are out here in the community doing the work. We have a television show coming out soon, but also the Healing Academy, which is the non-for-profit that actually Dion Victoria, the artist whose work you've seen today, and myself started. And it is an education and arts-based non-for-profit where we use art as a healing tool and an education tool to truly educate our young people, which is a beautiful form of healing, as well as using it for healing to, again, go mental, spiritual, and physical. So health is a large part of what we do. Healing and spiritual connection is a large part of what we do, and education and arts is a large part of what we do. So you guys can check out the Healing Academy, because we heal because we heal for real. Okay, so that is us everywhere. WeHealHeal.org is our website. We heal on Instagram. We heal on Facebook. We heal, and it's the Healing Academy on YouTube as well. And you can find Melanated in America everywhere on Instagram, YouTube, here on Facebook. And we have the Melanated in America movement group, where we have conversations similar to these and a whole lot of other conversations centered around being melanated in America and the conversations that we need to have to heal and be our best selves.
Now, I forgot to say something about me. Okay. So, as you all know, my name is Cheryl Nell Lane, and you can reach me at Cheryl Nell everywhere. My website is www.cherylnell.com. My email is cherylnell@cherylnell.com. My Instagram, YouTube, Facebook is bit.ly/Chanel, whichever one you're trying to find. Chanel YouTube, Chanel Facebook, Chanel Twitter, Chanel. So you can find me as long as you have Cheryl Nell right. How do you spell it? It's CHERLNELL. One more time. It's CHERLNELL. Please remember it. Please contact me. Like I said, I have an event coming up. I got my podcast that I do all the time on Mondays called Words from a Black Woman's Experience. Please check it out, and please follow me on social media for more information on more events that I have coming up.
Absolutely. And before we leave, I love y'all. I really want y'all to know that you are loved, you are supported, and you are not alone. I know when you are in the eye of the storm or anywhere else in the storm, it can feel very lonely. It can feel like nobody understands. It can feel like you're standing there all by yourself, but you are not. And don't think that you are. Reach out to someone. If it's not a therapist, a family member, a friend that you trust, say something. Say something. Find support groups. There are plenty of support groups and people who care. Chanel is one of them. She has her platform. We have our platform through Melanated in America and the Healing Academy, where we do shows like the Breathe Experience, which is an open platform to help people heal. We have Free Your Mind Friday, where we bring on sometimes therapists and different artists to talk about how they use their artistry. You are not alone. You are not alone, and you are loved, and you are important, and you are here for a reason. You are here for a reason.
All right. Thank you guys so much. As always, thank you for holding space for me. Thank you all for coming to a Melanated in America and Cheryl Nail Lane LLC event.